Girl,
Everybody
it's packed out here tonight.
Please. Follow the one line, please.
I told you.
IDs out. I need to see IDs. Thank you, ladies. Welcome to Park Ave.
Excuse me. Hello? Can you move? What? Excuse me. Oh my God. You ready to go? Girl, I've been ready.
Well, hey, girl, hey.
We're here.
Barely.
We are here barely.
Barely. And I told
Listen, y'all, I'm eating sunflower seeds, so fuck y'all. If I'm cracking
people,
in your ear.
I told people I went to sleep. They got mad, so we're here.
It's okay. You're transitioning.
I went to sleepy yesterday. I was actually sleepy at 7 o'clock. I went to sleep probably like 8-ish.
Really?
Yeah, and I was upset because I wanted to watch Greenleaf. I rather enjoy Church Mess on OWN, and I fell asleep, so I don't even know what the Greenleafs did last night. But I'm going to save the episode for this weekend. I feel like it'll be good this weekend.
That's good. I worked. I cried a little bit.
Right, you cried.
Yeah.
Say we cry, we cry together. The OJ's version takes me out every time. And we make love.
You know, and that's going to segue into what's cool in the city is adult responsibility.
It's a lot.
Having to be
at places at certain times. Pay bills, because if you're not at the place at a certain time, you might not get paid. You got to pay bills. Come to find out, it costs to breathe.
It's horrible.
Essentially,
everything you want to do in life costs money.
You want to eat. Costs money. Even it's not even going out. I mean, of course, eating out is more, but you have to go to the grocery store. I get panic attacks when my cart gets too full.
Look,
because I'm like, damn, this is about to be $1,000.
And not even that. It's just like, okay,
air conditioning.
I don't want to pay for my food, so that means I gotta go out with somebody. Okay, cool. But then you gotta pay for that too, because they want to kiss.
They want your vagina. They want
to hold your hand.
They want your vagina.
They want to stick it in you.
They want your vagina. It is true. Like, I have function because other people will pay. Luckily for me, I don't think it's been that bad. Okay, so I have designated people that I know who will leave me alone, like who won't try to have sex with me if they buy me dinner. I cherish those people, but the reality is most people are making an investment. So they're making you full so they can fill your vagina. Horrible. Oh, but I mean, women do investments. Women sleep with people for a later investment. So it's all it's all a circle. It's all the circle of life if people really want to be honest.
I'm popping me open a Bud Light, you guys.
She's such a hood rat. Bud Light, and she's gonna crackle these sunflower seeds in your ear.
And I'm sorry. Okay.
I don't understand how I got hooked up with such a hood rat. It's amazing, actually. But no, everything is a circle of life. Sometimes you go out because you want a free meal. Sometimes he pays for your free meal because he wants some pussy. Circle of life. Where do you fit in?
It's the circle of life.
That's what they did. That's what they didn't teach you on Lion King.
And it moves in slow.
Sometimes you gotta sleep with him for your light bill. You want your lights cut off, or you just want to let him stroke you for 15 minutes? What do you want in a life? What is your price tag? I mean, it actually comes down to your price tag.
Oh, shit.
I know some people who don't hump past the car. That's I have a friend right now with 6 cars in her driveway because who she busted for. These are the things you need to think about. Who are you busting it for? What do you want out the deal?
That's what's cool in the city. So listen.
Busting it for money.
No.
Okay.
I'm not busting it for money. Busting it for security.
And sometimes that happens.
We are busted for security because at the end of the day,
not everybody, but the people who have to, I'm not judging.
I'm not going to judge because I've been there. I'm living it. Okay?
I've been there. Actually, I'm there. I've been there. No, wait, I'm there.
I told you I got my couch.
Her couch is gorgeous, by the way. It was all worth the pussy she gave out. I must say so myself. If I had to give out pussy for a sofa, that would be the sofa. I was thoroughly impressed. I was like, wow. Blue and suede. It looked fresh too. It's like that cobalt blue. Y'all know that cobalt blue. cobalt blue.
Cool.
It be bright.
It's bright. It's sweaty.
Vibrant.
It's a beautiful color. It's like at first I thought it was gonna be like.
Is it comfortable?
I thought it was gonna be a bullshit ass couch.
Is it a good sleeper couch?
Yes, it is.
Okay, because you know, like some couches be like really gorgeous, but you can't like watch TV and fall asleep.
You know, I can fall. I after I put it together, and then I kind of like laid on it. I said, "Wow,
This is it.
this is it."
It was worth that 35 minutes of sex.
It was worth. Well, I mean, I don't want to say it was worth the 35 minutes of sex.
It was 35 minutes and a whole sofa. If your sofa was over like $500, you made $500 in less than an hour. Who am I to talk about sex work? Sex work is work. I stand with those ladies.
All I'm saying is, it's a beautiful color. It goes with everything. I feel like it completes it. I have to get a rug. I definitely need to get an area rug.
You need to get an area rug. You need to get you a cute little throw a blanket.
Blanket.
Because you know it gets chilly.
Blanket.
It gets chilly when you lay on your sofa. I stay wrapped up in a blanket.
And I know it's about to be fall. And
chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's what's cool in the city. I'm working it out. I'm in my new place and
paying bills.
I'm paying bills.
Child, somebody told me to move, and we were looking for apartments, girl, and I almost died when somebody said $1,200. Who does that?
That's a house note, actually.
I can't.
That's a house. My brother was paying $13 something.
That's what I'm gonna do. I think next year I'm gonna look for a house.
He was paying $13 something.
Because I'm not moving. I don't like moving. So when I move again, I'm probably gonna be in that place forever, or at least another like 10 years.
I told myself if I'm not married by the time my lease is up.
When's your lease up?
Next year.
So if you're not married by next year,
yeah.
Well, set your goals high and fast.
Well, I'm just saying if I'm not like in a serious relationship by next year to where we're talking about like moving in together, I mean, I'm fucking 35. Okay?
You have 11 months, sis. Get your life.
I'm 35.
Fast track it.
I'm ready to fast track.
Fast track it.
I'm ready to fast track.
Fast track it. You know what you know when you know at a certain age. Fast track it, sis.
I'm 35.
Push the pedal to the metal. Shut up and drive.
If a nigga ain't look, I need to know. I need to know. Can I move in? I'm tired of paying bills.
Shut up and drive.
I'm tired. I'm tired of paying rent. I'm tired of paying insurance for the rent. I'm tired of paying car note. And I'm grateful for my car. But I'm tired. A bitch is tired.
Fast track it.
I'm tired of paying for internet. I'm tired of paying for
cable. Just want to watch TV.
It's not even.
For streaming services.
I'm tired of paying for streaming services. I'm trying to see whose account can I log into.
Wow, fast track it says. I believe in sex work and fast track stuff.
So if I gotta put out
this podcast is tailor made for me.
So if that means I gotta put out to get a password and an email address.
What's 15 minutes? What's 15 minutes of being naked? What is 15 minutes?
Because they're not gonna last.
Not. Sometimes you can throw it faster. I don't know. Do you want it to end quicker? You might need to ride them. It's certain positions you're not a clench. Sometimes you got to do your Kegels while you're riding. Miracles happen.
Grab that dick.
Listen.
Grab that dick by the wall.
Sometimes you got to play with the balls while you're inside. Now, if you want some trick, one day, never mind. I don't want to talk about this stuff like that with y'all, but just know there's a lot of tricks and gifts out there. The fast track your sex. So you'll get a sofa in 10 minutes. Who am I to judge?
Listen.
I mean, those days are behind me. I don't bust it down like that no more.
My sofa came in, but when I put it together, and then when I see it, this is the first sofa I've had since 2005.
Wow.
And, I'm moving forward with life. I feel like an adult. I sent you the picture. I had my feet kicked up on it. Well, the one that I sent you didn't have my feet.
No, you just had the sofa. Gorgeous sofa.
Wow. I'm an adult. I'm living. I'm out here. And I don't have too much to say about what's cool in the city, but all I have to say is We're living out here.
And we approve sex work. And sometimes you need to fast track life. We don't judge.
Live how you get it.
Well, that's what's cool in the city, I guess. Well, I don't even have a notes. Usually I have notes. Y'all really barely.
Yeah.
I do. I have them in a composition book. I have what the episode is. I have my Women Crush Wednesday written out. I have. It's like the whole show broken down perfectly, actually, because I'm going to save them, because I feel like in 10, 20 years, I'm going to look back and be like, wow, I really sat here and told all my business. So I want to save them. But today, I'll write my notes after the show, apparently. So here with nothing, I decided, because I've been kind of IG stalking. Well, I haven't just started IG stalking her. I've actually...
Janet Jackson.
No, I've always stalked Janet Jackson. Actually, somebody just found
Rochon.
Somebody just found me in Janet Jackson's comment section and was like, why you always ask her for that wig? And I really do. And I realized, I went through and realized, like, every post, I'm like, your nephews are cute. Give me your wig. Oh my God, I love that song. Let me have that wig, sis.
Or you like, what kind of ponytail is that?
I want Janet's hair. Janet should send me her wig. But anyway, so my Woman Crush Wednesday isn't a person on TV. Well, is a person on TV, but isn't a character on TV. I've been following this woman for a very long time. She played some of my favorite roles in some of my favorite movies. And so this week's Women Crush Wednesday goes to Lela Rochon.
I knew it.
Lela Rochon Staples-Fugua.
I knew it.
I bet a lot of y'all didn't know Rochon wasn't even her last name. Rochon is her middle name. So Lela Rochon Staples-Fugua. Now, here's the thing. I was following Lela before all the bullshit happened, because I'm a person who follows...
Mess.
I don't follow mess. I was following her before the mess. I'm a person who follows 90s celebrities and stars. I like 80s stars, 70s stars. Like, I will follow like Diane Carroll. Like, that's my cup of tea on Instagram. You guys tend to follow IG models and Future's baby mamas. Not the type of shit I like on my timeline. I like to see Loretta Devine and Jennifer Lewis. We live different lives. So I was always following Lela Rochon. I've always was in her comment section. But recently, since she has gotten back on social media, she's been having what everyone likes to call a hot girl summer. I approve a hot girl summer. I think Lela Rochon's a hot girl. Once a pretty girl, always a pretty girl. Once a bad bitch, you stay a bad bitch. So all of a sudden, everybody now is paying attention to her, but I've always loved her, and I can quote a lot of her lines from Waiting to Excel and Harlem Nights and Boomerang, and she was on the first season of the Wayans Brothers, and she was a third Mrs. Frankie Lyman. She did that incredible movie about segregation because she was dating like a white man. Her name was like Mrs. Loving, and she was dating this white man, and it came on Lifetime, and she's really been out here. She had gang related with Tupac. She's on David Makes Man Now on OWN. She's really been out here. She married, well, even though you know her, but she, I personally like Lela, and she's a pretty girl, and Robin is my kindred spirit, to be honest. It's a lot of things Robin does, how she's actually really looking for love and kind of almost looking for a nigga with money, but then she falls for the fuck boy. Me and Robin are kind of like to get in sync, okay? So I go into her comment section pretty often, and then when I go to her comment section, I like to hype people up.
Yes, you do.
I hype up Janet Jackson. I hype up Legend Toya Jackson. Janet's kind of hard because Janet don't run her account. It's obvious that she pay people. Legend Toya runs her shit because she'll like my posts. Lela Rochon Staples-Fugua is another person who runs her shit. Now, I've commented so much on her page, I start calling people legends. So now she's Legend Rochon when I comment. So now I quote movies and then say, yes, Legend Rochon. So Lela Rochon Staples-Fugua is my Women Crush Wednesday, because once a baddie, always a baddie. Once a pretty girl, always a pretty girl. I don't care what's going on. Don't let no man, don't let no woman, don't let no situation break you. If you a bad bitch, stay a bad bitch. You stay it. You been in Harlem Nights, Boomerang, and Waiting to Excel. That's like a fucking trifecta. Nobody hits that hard. Like, those are like cult classics. Those are movies that people talk about and still quote to this day. Not everybody can bust out with Harlem Nights, Boomerang, and Waiting to Excel. That's a miracle. Like, Waiting to Excel, 20 years from now, 100 years from now, people are going to know Robin Stokes. Yep. People are going to know Sunshine from Harlem Nights. Don't you throw that up here?
They gonna
You
know that
raggedy
line.
bitch. I want a house in Scottsdale. I own a house in Scottsdale. What else?
You leather wearing in the summertime.
Girl, when she said you human submarine sandwich. But you can't say that without hurting somebody's feelings. You can't say that, sis. And then when she had on like that, when Russell came over and she had on that black lingerie that was see-through, like I remember that as a kid. Like I remember that as a kid because I remember thinking she was like the epitome of like
black,
sex
beautiful.
And beauty and black and
yes,
just
black
even
excellent,
like
yeah.
her opening scene with her in that suit that like the skirt was kind of short. It's like how you even wearing that to work. And she said my weakness is pretty boys with big sticks. And I was just like, who is this woman? I wasn't even, that shit came out in 97. I had to be all of 11. But something about her and just the way she delivered her lines, like, registered with me. The fact that she was at the salon and she told him, I don't clock in or out because I got it like that. Remember? And it's like,
Yeah.
you don't clock in or out. And then when she's unbuttoning her suit jacket, she had like a half shirt on.
No, this is not, what did you say?
This is not John, bitch. And then even when old boy was trying to sell out on Bernadine was like, I saw her at the 7-Eleven and she was a mess. She had a funky old bathrobe on and he was trying to sell her out. Robin called her straight up like a real friend should do and was like, Bernie, how did that son of a bitch leave? Bernie, how did that son of a bitch leave you with 2 kids? And then you know, old girl hung up on her. Gloria hung up on her. And just a simple fact, she was ready to ride with Bernadine at the birthday party. Like, sometimes you need a friend who don't need a when, why, where, who, what, how, what's going to happen later, how you going to come back from it. Sometimes you just need a friend who's just going to get in the car, strap some shoes on and ride with you. And Robin is that friend. Robin was that friend for Bernadine. And I'm with it. I've always been with it. So, but overall, Lela Rochon really has had a great theatrical career. She's been in great movies. She's really put in her work. And, you know, when it comes to 90s sitcoms, she was in them all. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Rock, Hanging with Mr. Cooper. I feel like she might have been on the Jamie Foxx show. She was on 227 at one point, 21 Jump Street. She really did the work. She done the footwork. She's been in great movies, and we should respect her as a 90s black legend like we do everybody else. I don't like when people be dragging people for bullshit. Sis really did her work, and she deserves. So she's my Women Crush Wednesday. So if y'all do me a favor, please go to Lela Rochon's page, call her Legend Rochon, and tell her Recovering Party Girls or Natoya Ebony sent you, because I usually comment under Natoya Ebony because I don't want people to block Recovering, right? Because I'm going to get blocked eventually from somebody's page. But go call her Legend Rochon and say Recovering Party Girls or Natoya Ebony sent you.
Amen.
Ding, 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 ding. I don't really have nothing else. I don't know what's going on in the media.
I don't know what's going on.
Queen Sugar had their season finale. Oh, today marks my 3-year anniversary to my DUI. Shout out to DUIs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
3 years?
3 years. 3 years.
And you're off. Look at you. You're glowing. You have you're a high-ranking job.
Prospering. Who knows? You get a DUI 1 year, you can turn your life around.
Amen.
Blessed be the name. Wait, I did feel like I read something that I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember now, guys. And I didn't write it down because I have no notes. So,
It's okay. You've been working. 9 to 5.
Come on, Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
So, guys, I meant to talk to you off camera about this. Actually, we need to pause it because before we actually do this part, I'll be back, guys.
Talking about it all.
All right, guys. So this week's episode is what Adriana chose. I have no correlation. Nothing like this ever happened to me. So take it on. Recovering from sexual harassment. Knock it out.
Welcome to the stage, you guys. No. So, yeah, this week we're covering from sexual harassment. And it's not even necessarily like, I think it's just important because what I found out, what has transpired within the last 2 weeks is that women that work in hospitality industries or that deal with a lot of men, we tend to let that shit go or let it slide because that's just the norm or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I had an experience with a person that we hired at my restaurant at Sugar's, and the guy turned out to be a total fucking creep. So I'll go ahead and say the backstory. So basically, 2 Fridays ago, this guy just we hired him. It's just literally his first night working the busiest night, and it was fine. We did great. We had like a really popular band. Like everything was good. Like the service was good. The feedback from the people was good. The kitchen, they didn't, I didn't have too many kitchen issues. So everything was great. And we made money that night. And the owner, he decided that he wanted to buy.
Go.
And so everybody that was, of course, over 21, he bought him a shot because he was really excited about the night. So the new cook, he was like high-fiving people. Okay, I'm a nice person. Like, I'm genuinely a nice person. I don't, but my niceness is not to be confused with weakness. Like, I'm nice, but I'm really not that nice. Like, I'm nice because I believe in being nice to people. I believe in respecting people. And I believe in, I just believe in being a nice person. But that's never to be confused with me being a weak person, because that I'm not. I don't have a problem with stating my mind. I've gone off on my staff. I've gone off on people. I don't have an issue with popping off. In fact, I love to pop off because I feel like sometimes people take my my demeanor or my niceness. They take it. How sometimes people take your niceness for granted or whatever. But in this situation, I felt like that's what happened, and he saw that I was a nice person. And so towards the end of the night, normally when I do the money, I make sure I'm as I count the money, I'm watching the cameras, because I don't want anybody to run up on me. I have cameras facing my office door. I have cameras everywhere. So I'm always watching the cameras. And I noticed that he was kind of like lingering by my office door. And then once I was done counting the money, I put everything up in the safe. I went outside of my office, and he turned around and he had a gun in his hand. And my first response was like, "Whoa, why do you have a gun?"
Yeah, why?
And
why?
he was just like, "Oh, well, I always carry a gun." I'm like, "Well, you don't fucking." I said,
"You don't show people."
I said, "You don't. First of all, you don't need a gun right now." And like it was like big ass. I want to say it was maybe a 45 or a 9mm, and he had it in his hand. And so I'm just like, "What the fuck?" So then, mind you, he was hired as the head chef. I'm supposed to show him the alarm code. It's just me and him. I turn off all the lights. I cut on my flashlight on my phone. I have the flashlight out, and I'm telling him what to push, and he just keeps pushing the wrong buttons.
I don't even know how you lasted with him having a gun. That would have been.
I didn't, but I was just ready to get the fuck out of there. No, I was just ready to get out of there. So I'm telling him what to push or whatever, and then he's pushing the wrong buttons. So I said, okay, let it reset. Girl, he fucking grabs my waist. He grabs me and he pulls me towards him. When somebody's trying to kiss you. You know when somebody's trying to do something to you. That's what I felt. And my heart just like fell into my stomach. And I just think my first thought was, get the fuck out of here. I hit the alarm, like I just hit the code really fast, and I just took off running. And I had like my big ass bag with my computer and everything in it. I took off running. Like it was just so creepy. Everything was just like, everything freaked me out. I took off running, got in my car, and I took off. Maybe like I I feel like I ran the light. I don't remember, but I feel like I ran the light that was right there, and I took off down to 92. And then I just had this ugly feeling in me, and I just started crying. And then I'm like calling the owner. I'm calling everybody. Nobody's answering their phone. Nobody. Like, I just felt so alone and so helpless. And the guy called me, and I didn't answer. And then I just started crying. Finally, I got a hold of the cook that was there that night. And I called him, and I just told him, hey, man, don't ever fucking leave me with a stranger. Don't ever leave me. Don't ever leave our female workers. Don't ever leave nobody with a fucking stranger. Is this the cook
that the other cook quit about?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And I was like, man, don't ever fucking leave me with a stranger. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, don't ever leave me exposed like that. Because last night, that night, I felt so vulnerable. Like, I didn't know what was on this person's mind. Obviously, he had some type of intent to try to do something. Like, if I were to have leaned in and like tried to kiss him, he would have did it, right? So, I mean, it was just, I called the owner, I cussed him out, I cussed everybody out. So, like, as everything transpired, you know, I wanted to go to the police station. I wanted to file charges on this nigga. Like, it was that big of a deal. And the owner called me the next morning, like 6:45, and was just like, what happened? And I told him, and he was just, and his first response was, you know, I don't understand, he has 5 daughters, and he goes to church, and I'm like, yo, fucking rapists have daughters. Rapists go to church.
Yeah, creeps are creeps.
Creeps are creeps. And then that's when I got pissed. And then so with me, things that like that take a minute to really process. So I really wasn't truly honest all the way processed with that situation. So like when he told me that, I hung up on him. And it literally, I sat with it for a little bit. And then like when I went to eat, I thought about it and I called him, and then that's when I was just like, yo, my safety is more important than however much money you put into this restaurant. My safety is more important than that.
It is.
And you can never buy another person like me. You can never, like, so for you to, you know, make these excuses like, well, he's this and he's involved in the church. I don't, like, no, it's him or me. So then he was just like, man, can I just have a meeting with you? Blah, blah, blah. So we ended up having a meeting. The nigga says he was blacked out drunk, and he gave me all these excuses. It was crocodile tears, right? I mean, the nigga was profusely crying. Like, all this shit, right? And,
niggas cry when they
get caught. When they get
caught doing harassment.
So he was like, you know, he was profusely apologizing to me. I mean, it was very, very, like, he seemed very, very, you know, I was drunk and I'm never going to drink again. And I'm sorry. Oh my God, I can't believe that shit. Like, I can't believe I did that. And I'm fucking pissed at myself. I mean, it was very dramatic. So I was just like, look, I get it. We need a cook. I see the bigger picture. I can look past it because you didn't hurt me, but at the same time, I don't trust you as far as I can throw you. So I told the owner, I was just like, I know what you're trying to do. I'm going to go ahead and say that if he's here and I have to be here, I'm not going to be here by myself with him. I'm telling you my rules. I'm telling you my guidelines. I'm never going to be in the same space with him by myself. Mm-hmm. So he was just like, all right. The next day, one of the servers called in, and the guy was there. I said, I'm not going in. I told you. I'm not doing it. You can go in, you can serve tables, you can do what you want to do, but I'm not doing it. So fast forward, I mean, it's a long drawn out story. Basically, this guy, his name is Jimmy Dillard. I'm gonna go ahead and put his name out there because I don't want no female working with him. He's a cook. He has his own catering company. I forget the name of the catering company, but his name is Jimmy Dillard. He's from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He is a predator. And basically what he does is he gets girls that want to go to culinary school. No. It's not
no, allegedly. You ain't finna get us sued. Allegedly.
For what?
Listen, Ebony Natoya McDaniel. You can't say that, though. What girl said it? You really have to say allegedly, though. That's like real life. You really do have to say allegedly. That's real fucking life.
I can say it for me.
Okay, so you can't say, how do you know he got all the girls? I'm just asking.
Because I saw it.
All the girls, how you say he got a whole bunch of girls who want to go
young girls. He gets young girls that goes to culinary school, and he pushes up on them.
Allegedly,
whatever. But that's facts. And you don't have to sue Ebony, but that's facts. And at the end of the day, like, if you guys are looking to go to culinary school or whatever, you're trying to get experience in cooking, do not go to this guy. This guy is a straight up fucking pervert. And I've been attacked before. I've had somebody follow me home. And that's why I feel like it's important to talk about that type of topic, because guys are fucking rapey as fuck, man. There's so many rapey ass niggas out there. And it's so disheartening, because it's like, you can't fight. I mean, of course you can fight them, but it's just like, there's so many different elements to, I don't know. Have you ever been attacked by a guy before?
Nah, that ain't my ministry.
It's not that just your ministry.
No, that ain't my ministry.
Have you ever been in a situation where...
As in ministry, that's not my story. That's not my ministry, not my story. But I'm 110% sure I know that happens. I've heard of it happening to other people. Fortunately, I've never been that person. I've been in spaces that's been too close to comfort. But with that being said, I didn't mind those spaces because of what I was doing in those spaces as well. But if you don't want nobody touching you, everybody to keep their hands to themselves. Just period, point blank. It's no excuse for you to touch somebody or somebody to touch you, especially in the workspace. Everybody leave their hands to them fucking selves. It's literally that simple. And if you think somebody feeling you and you kind of want to see where it's going, y'all need to literally ask people straight up before you lead with your actions. And when I mean leading with actions, that means groping them, putting your arm around them, calling them babe, calling them boo, calling them sweetie, calling them honey, all the affectionate names, showing them, your shit in your cell phone, trying to show them freaky stuff that they finding on Twitter. It is just so much simpler just to say, are you feeling me? Do you like me? And go on about your day instead of leading with actions. People tend to lead with actions as a way to kind of feel people out versus just asking somebody how they feel. Yeah. It will be so much easier if people just ask you. Like back in the day, you got a box. Do you like me? Yes or no? That is what we call consent. We kind of need to go back to do you like me? Yes or no? And make life easier for everybody, because signals can, and I'm not making excuses for people, signals can get crossed. Sometimes people are flirting and then they back away because they got what they want or they're not getting what they want. It's many dynamics to sexual harassment in the workplace. And a lot of people who will try to get you caught up. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people who really was like, no, it wasn't my fault. She did X, Y, and Z. And some of those guys are telling the truth. And there's some women who are also telling the truth. So to avoid all of that, everybody just be verbal and very decisive in what they're asking. And if somebody tells you no, then that's just no. If somebody tells you I'm married, then take that as a hint. They married or they got a boyfriend. If somebody says they have a boyfriend, don't ask them, are they happy? Or do you cheat on him? Or can you have friends? Mm-hmm. When they say they got somebody, just roll with it. They got somebody. It's really that simple when it comes to consent. But the problem is people want to test the waters to see how far they can go. I've been in, of course, men are creeps in general. So I've been in situations that have been interesting, to say the least, but nothing that will prompt me to go down to a police station.
Yeah.
It's always been kind of like, I was just telling the story today about, and I was in this guy's bed. We were actually friends, and I was out of town, and I don't know how I ended up in his room. Oh, I know how I ended up in his room. I didn't have my own hotel room. I was just coming to party, and out of everybody, I was closest to him. So I was in his bed. So when I woke up the next morning, my back was to him, but the TV was loud as hell. And I remember fumbling, like patting around the bed for this remote because I was going to cut the TV down. And so he was like, what you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm looking for the remote, but my back's to him. And I remember she was so ridiculous. I remember patting, and I was like, looking for the remote. He's like, oh, here it is. And he puts his penis in my hand as I'm like, he puts his penis in my hand as I'm holding my hand out, thinking he's about to hand me the remote. But the thing is, when somebody puts something in your hand, my natural reaction was to close my hand, because essentially I'm thinking this is remote. It's definitely his penis plopped in my hand. I've had stuff like that happen, but
what was your reaction?
I was just like, yo, you wildin'. For me, it's a lot of situations I don't go above and beyond for, because half of it's not my personality. And then the other half is, for me, I know men are creeps. So some of these creepy tendencies, I can be like, I can check somebody and be like, yo, man, put your dick up. And go on about my day without feeling like I didn't feel in that very moment like, oh my God, my life is over, he's about to. But that's me though. And it's however y'all would have felt in that situation, y'all business. But for me at that moment, it was just like, man, nigga, really? Like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Put your dick up. Like, for real. And I'm like, man, it's time to go anyway. Let me get my ass back to Orlando. And then I promptly got my ass back to, well, I didn't like rush, but I was getting my stuff together. And I was like, let me get my ass back to Orlando. And I was just like, all right, then, bye. Like, keep your dick in your pants. But a part of me is rough and tough in that type of space, so I kind of feel like, what the fuck? I have one homeboy that loves to show me his sex with his booze, just out of blue. Like, why are you showing me your dick in this girl's vagina? Like, relax. Niggas are very creepy, and I always said if I had a son that I'm gonna have to relearn my childhood and my middle school days and my high school days.
Do you think that that's normal for somebody to do that?
Do what?
To like put their, if you're looking for a remote, they just put their dick in.
But I know the relationship we had. We never slept together, but I know the relationship we had prior to that moment. So is it normal for some nigga I don't know to put his penis in my hand and this is my first night in your room? No, but because I know him, it was just like, all right, put your dick up. Don't be doing this to random people, because random people ain't gonna take this shit as lightly as I'm taking it. I don't do that to random people. Okay, just make sure you really don't, because that's fucking weird. But that's me, and we still cool now. But once again, that's personally me. Everybody, and that's the thing about when you're dealing with certain situations, everybody does not react the same. Everybody, a lot of times when people being creepy, I had a homeboy the other day, I was like, man, you kind of creepy when you get drunk, but you're not creepy to me and my friends because we know how you are. I could see some random bitch thinking you creepy, and then that's the problem too. Some people deem creepy. Creepy is subjective. Some shit is not creepy for people, and some shit is creepy for people. Some shit is just like, nigga, man, stop. And some stuff is like, oh my God, I felt so violated. So to avoid everything, everybody keeps their hands, their body parts, their nude pictures, what the fuck they doing to themselves, until you verbally ask somebody, yo, you cool? We kicking it? What's up?
Yeah.
It makes it that much more simpler for people, because like I said, there's certain situations I've been in that I wasn't tripping about. I was just like, nigga, can you like not? Goddamn, Ebony. Yeah, goddamn, Ebony. Like, chill. And then we go on about our day. And then there's some people who would be ready to cry, in a car or a hotel lobby, and be wanting everybody to rally around them and hold hands. Certain situations like that happen too. And I'm not faulting anybody everybody's going to react a certain way. Everybody's able to react different. And everybody's able to have certain boundaries. Everybody's boundaries aren't the same. Everybody's sense of humor is not the same. Everybody, like, I'm a bit more vulgar and raunchy anyway when I be talking to my homeboys. It's very different elements.
I'm not talking about homeboys. I'm talking about strangers.
He wasn't a stranger. So if you're asking about that situation, no. Of course, if a stranger puts a dick in your hand, that's weird. He's a fucking stranger. That's what I'm saying. I tell people all the time, it's based on the relationships you have with people. And at the end of the day, if somebody says they're uncomfortable and somebody tells you no, pack y'all shit up and go. It's really that fucking simple. Literally, that the second she seems like she is uncomfortable, or the second she feels weird, or she tells you she feels weird, or I don't care if it's the middle of sex and she tells you no, get your shit and go. It's literally that simple. And stop judging or putting everybody on the same level. The relationship you have with Sarah ain't the relationship you have with Sue, ain't the relationship you have with Monica. Just because you down at the call center and Sarah and Lee and Tina let you fuck no problem in the back room does not mean that you can run that same game on Sarah. Sarah will report your ass to HR. Stop judging people and putting everybody on the same level. Read each situation for each personal situation. It's really that fucking simple. Stop putting everybody in a loophole. The same way I feel about girls with niggas with money. Stop acting like just because a nigga got a coin, he got to give it to you. Stop judging niggas with money on the same level. He ain't got to give you shit. Now, if he want to give you $100, great. If he want to give you $1,000, great. If he want to pay your rent and pay your car note, great. If this nigga tell you no, fine. Stop putting people in the same box. It will solve so many problems.
Agreed.
And at the end of the day, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be relearned with the kids of today. So all the people who have kids right now, or even people who have kids in elementary school, it's a lot of things we need to relearn because there's a lot of creepy niggas out there, but they can't help it because boys will be boys. And I'm not gonna say they can't help it, but
you can't say that because at the end of the day, because that's what the wife said to me.
You can't say boys
had me super
you can't say boys will be boys, but it's a whole bunch of learned habits that nobody has checked for decades and years and hundreds of years.
That shit had me super aggy, man.
As parents now, I think people should attempt in raising their new kids, expose them to all of this, expose them to sexual harassment, expose them to no means no, expose them into
rapey shit,
expose them into everything that you were taught that was okay. Because it's actually not okay. Like, even little boys in the park, they punch you in your face because they like you when you're 5. That's not cool.
Okay. That's not okay.
We need to relearn a lot of stuff we learned. And in the process, you also need to help your daughters relearn some stuff because it's a lot of stuff that flies with women because we were raised up a certain way. So it's a lot of stuff that just goes by the wayside because you're taught boys will be boys, or because you have brothers and you know how your brothers act, or because you hung out with your boy cousins and that's just how your boy cousins act. So now you're giving leeways and passes to people in your regular world because you were raised up with a bunch of boys in your family and your uncle got away with stuff and your daddy got away with stuff and your granddaddy got away with stuff. Now you letting the men in your life get away with stuff. So at the end of the day, some of you niggas are just going to hell being creeps, and that's just that. But there's a lot of people who still can be saved. So, I believe the children are the future. Teach them well, let them lead the way. Your new kids, teach them about
boundaries,
sexual assault in a very broad way.
Yeah.
I've always said if I had a son, I would tell my son to sleep with a girl while she's drunk because a lot of shit happens when you're drunk. I've had situations happen, but like I said again, I'm a little different. Did I go to the police and was like, I'm sexually assaulted? I was like, shit, lesson learned. Don't get fucked up around any random nigga. You don't leave your purse open in front of strangers.
But again, that's what I'm talking about. Is that we say, "Oh, I shouldn't have did that." When in reality,
I don't know what happened. I've talked about this before. I didn't know what happened.
I'm just saying, like, we look at ourselves as like, damn, I shouldn't have put myself in that situation, so it's my fault that happened to me. Just like when this situation happened with this guy, I sent out a text message to all my staff and I told them, hey, sexual harassment will not be tolerated as long as I'm here. If somebody makes you feel uncomfortable, if somebody says something to you in a threatening way, all of that shit I need to know about. 2-3 minutes later, one of my servers called me and said, well, he did the same thing to me that night. And I asked her, why didn't you tell me? And she was just like, well, because, I just know that guys are like that. So, I just kind of like pushed him off me and I just put it in my head that I just wouldn't talk to him. I said, that's a problem because that's not normal behavior. Just because we just say, okay, well, I'm just not going to, talk to him no more or whatever. That's still not fucking normal behavior. That's not normal behavior. No guy should push themselves on you, regardless of if you're in your right state of mind or not. No man should do that. That's not normal. That's rapey. Like, I've had one of my really good friends, she told me one of her good friends had sex with her. This girl's a lesbian. This guy had sex with her while she was drunk. She didn't want to say shit to him. But I told her, I was like, dog, you can't let this nigga pass because he's your friend. That's wrong. And she's like, well, I just don't want to say nothing. That's still if you are not saying nothing to him, you're allowing it to happen to somebody else. Like, if I never said anything to this guy, he would still be working at Sugar's. If I never said you're fucking dead ass wrong, I never invited that. For you to think that because I talk to you or I'm smiling at you or whatever, you take that as flirtation, nigga, you're delusional. Because I don't want you. Mm-hmm. And that's what I feel like females, we give niggas that do that type of shit passes. Oh, well, he's my friend and whatever. It's still creepy. There's no, like, at the end of the day, it's still creepy. And not to say that, like, the guy is not a bad guy, but to put your dick in my hand when I ain't asked for it, you're a creep. Mm. And to just be so dismissive of it shows how prevalent it is. And that's the thing, like, people will continue to do that. Like, you can build a friendship with somebody, right? Like, this guy that put his dick in your hand, right? Mm-hmm. He can build a friendship with somebody else. They don't have that type of mental space for that. He's going to do it to them to test to see how far he can test it. That's the thing. That's creepy. No guy should, like, honestly, like, I just feel like guys that do that type of shit, that's rapey shit. Don't disrespect me. Don't pull your dick out in front of me. Like, if we're friends, don't fucking pull your dick out in front of me. I don't want to fucking feel that shit. That's creepy. Like, who does that? And that's all I'm saying is that, like, that's the reason why I wanted to talk about it, is because I feel like as females, we're so conditioned to just accept that's just how niggas are, you know, they creepy, they rapey, they got rapey vibes, whatever. But no, that's not fucking, that's not right. And when we start exposing niggas for what they do and how their behavior, that's when shit changes. I guarantee you, if I never said shit about what that nigga did, he would still be working at Sugar's and he would still be creating mess, underlining, like, behind the scenes. Because when that girl told me he did the same thing to her, I was like, oh man, this nigga gotta go. He's a problem. And when his wife called me and tried to check me about his behavior, she asked me, well, you know, I know how sometimes girls get real flirtatious with him. I said, first of all, he's fat and he's ugly. I don't want your man. I don't want your husband. I never put that energy out there. So for you to think that that's your first MO, did I cause him to do that? No, fuck no. And that, I hate that shit. Don't make it seem like I caused it or I brought that onto myself. I did not. Like, I personally think that, like, guys need to quit that fucking rapey shit, because at the end of the day, you're going to meet your match. Just like this nigga met his match. When I found out that he's been pushing up on these young girls and putting himself on them, I said, oh man, no. I got to say something. And this nigga, like, Brandon's background, this nigga has already one aggravated sexual assault on him.
Why I didn't run his background prior?
I don't know why the owner didn't run his background prior. And that's what I told the owner. You cannot bring random people to your business when we don't know who they are. We don't know their background. We don't know anything about them. We cannot trust people like that, because clearly there are people out here that have issues that they will continue to do this. This guy is a predator. And I'll say, you don't gotta agree. No, he is a fucking predator. He has a track record. His wife knows it. The people that work around him knows it. I know it. My staff knows it. So he's a fucking predator. So like to justify and say whatever to make it seem like that's not reality. No, that's not cool. That's not cool. And I don't fucking stand for it. Like, I don't want my male friends putting their dick in my hands. I don't want my male friends to make me feel uncomfortable. Like, I don't want that. If I don't ask for it, don't give it to me. Believe me, if I want some dick, I'm gonna ask for it. But don't just solicit it to me to see what I'm gonna... That's creepy. Like, don't do that shit. And I don't know, I just feel like us as women, we give men that do that type of shit so many passes because it's like, well, that's just how they are. It's still fucking rapey. It's still rapey. Even when my girl, my server told me, yeah, he did that to me, but you know, I'm just so used to guys doing that to me, you know, I just pushed him off and told him don't touch me. I'm like, why didn't you say something? That's not normal. Like, that's just not normal. And, you know, I would just hope that you guys, like, if y'all, like, that's not normal. And nobody should accept that type of behavior from men. Hold these niggas accountable.
Well, this podcast is really about growth. I remember when we sat here and you said how at bars there is no sexual harassment. Everything out the window.
We said what?
We said here when we talked about recovering from bartending, we said, I think that was the episode. We sat here, we made a mockery about sexual harassment.
But it is. No, that's what I told the girl. I said, I understand how you feel because I was the same way, but that doesn't make it okay. It doesn't make it okay.
This podcast is about
it's not okay. No nigga should be pushing up on no female in an aggressive manner, in a way that they feel scared for their job.
Not actually aggressive. Some of y'all are real slick with it too.
It doesn't. It doesn't matter.
I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I say all of it's not even aggressive. That's the sad part.
I mean,
it's more noticeable when it's aggressive. But some of y'all are real slick. Some of you niggas are real slick. Of course they are.
But anything. At the end of the day, a woman should be able to say, I will fuck you if I want to. If I want to fuck you, I'm going to fuck you. Point blank, bottom line. If I want to fuck you, I want to fuck you. If I want to suck your dick, I'm going to say I want to suck your dick. Don't put that on me. Don't force it on me. Don't pressure me into doing it. Because 9 times out of 10, I'll do it anyway if I really want to.
This is true.
If I really want to, I'm going to suck your dick. And you probably wouldn't have to tell me to do it. That's all I'm saying, ladies. Don't give these niggas no passes. Send their ass to jail. Report them. Because once you start reporting them, you start blowing up their shit, that's when they gonna have a come to Jesus. Like, for real. Fuck that shit. Like, no nigga should be making you feel uncomfortable. Fuck that. Report his ass. Call him out. Because I guarantee you, I don't know. I've been in situations where I felt so uncomfortable and so disgusted the next day. Like, and I've had the person that did it apologize because they knew what they did was wrong. So, like, honestly, we gotta stop that shit, man.
Report people and always take care of
them.
And always, in a lot of situations, take care of yourself first. Like,
report them.
I've talked about my situation in college, and the bottom black ass line of that whole situation was, I can't tell you what happened because I don't remember. So when people say alcohol doesn't play a part and don't blame it on liquor, I'm on the other side of that, especially if you get blacked the fuck out drunk and you can't recall what happened.
And again, you should not have to be made
We
to
know
feel.
that fucking part, Adriana. I get that part. I'm speaking from my personal experience. Yes, people should leave you the fuck alone. We all get it. The problem is you can't report nothing if you do not remember nothing. I was in a case where I can't even tell you what happened. So I can't tell you if he did or did not do nothing. I didn't know heads from tails. So I'm saying, for women who party, who like to party, who turn up, who want to take it to the next level, who want to drink everybody under the table, sometimes really think about your surroundings.
Yeah.
That's all I'm fucking saying. God damn.
I'm the same.
That just the same way when you get your keys before you even get out your car to get to your front door. People don't like fumbling their keys at their front door. You don't leave your baby with a stranger. Sometimes, I'm not saying women are to blame and you should trust everybody. Yeah, you should. You should be able to live in a world where your door is unlocked. You should live in a world where your car is unlocked. You should be living in a world where you leave your debit card and nobody fucking charges it at a gas station. Yes, that is the world we should live in. That is the world we don't live in. So yes, niggas are creeps. Niggas are trash. But with that being said, give them the most minimal time to be creeps and trash. Because guess what? A lot of them are still creeps and trash. And that little 10% you give them, they still might find their way in that. That's all I'm saying. Be careful overall. Yeah. I said this before. When you have friends and y'all at the club, we guys get tore down at FAMU. Oh, good old FAMU, did I? But sometimes you need a friend to have your back who's not going to get as drunk as you. I'm sorry, people want to keep throwing down your throat, men this, men that. That's great. Men are trash. We know this. They're creeps. They're disturbing. They're rapey, whatever. But like I told somebody, I'm like, it's sad. We do live in a world where girls still live on a buddy system.
Yeah.
I mean, I go out by myself now, but then now I'm very conscious of when I'm out by myself. There was a time where I really did live a free life and didn't care when I was out by myself.
Yeah.
And I will party on and just hope the universe takes care of me. The universe might and it might not. Don't give the universe a chance to decide what the fuck they about to do.
Yeah.
And don't give niggas a chance to decide what they're about to do. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's your fault if some weird ass nigga rapes you in the bathroom. That nigga's a fucking weirdo. I am saying though, sometimes you can't report nothing if you don't remember nothing. And that's a very hard pill to swallow. And that happens a lot of times. And also, when you're sitting there drunk and trying to explain it to a police officer, that's all they're going to bring up, you being drunk. So do you really know what happened? Because you're so drunk. Well, you were drunk. So don't have a good time. Life is fun. Life is great. I'm not the one to talk about getting drunk as shit. I'll probably be there, probably be drunk as shit this weekend. But I am saying, be very aware of yourself.
Yeah.
You do not leave your baby with strangers.
You do not leave with strangers.
You don't leave your little cousins with strangers. You check up on your cousins when you drop them off at the mall. People tend to take care of other people better than they take care of themselves. All I'm saying is take care of yourself, because even when you're giving people the smallest space to be a piece of shit, somebody will still find a way to get in and be a piece of shit.
They will take it.
So give people less of that space, because I'm telling you, it's a very bad feeling when you wake up and you
don't know what happened.
You can kind of see something happen, but now you're questioning yourself, because you do like to kind of have sex when you drunk. So did you ask for the sex or did you not ask for the sex? But it just seems like you wouldn't, because no, that's not me. But then again, I'm drunk, so I really don't know, because drunk we do like to fuck. Damn, you really go through that. I went through that. I had a very terrible experience like that. So be careful with yourself.
Yeah.
Like I said. And, I'm not finna go to the police because somebody put their dick in my hand. That's me though. Especially if it's not a stranger. That's me though. But check your friends. Call my friends creeps all the time. When they start doing creepy shit and I be around, I'm like, that's real creepy. And they be looking like, that's creepy. That's fucking creepy. Yeah. It's not creepy. No, it really is creepy. Yeah. I call my friends creeps more than they would like to know. A lot of them probably became better people because I called them out. Because a lot of stuff, like I said, I take it as my responsibility for the kids I'm around now that are younger, the boys and the girls, to make a point of calling the boys and the girls out now, because I get that the excuse boys will be boys is stupid and people are over it. But the reality is we're at this point going against a boys club. Mm-hmm. We at this point are trying to break, I don't want to say, not genetic chains. What word do I want to use? It's like we're trying to be combative of years and years and years and years and years of certain treatment and boys getting away with certain stuff. Even for my age right now, I'm 33. It's just certain stuff I learned growing up with brothers and uncles and guys that even I'm a part of the problem. A lot of people are a part of the problem and don't even realize it, because we were all in this space. And once again, boys will be boys and it's okay. It wasn't that bad. Did you die? Did he hurt you? It's one of those things. So
Yeah.
you do have to call people out for their shit.
Absolutely.
And like I said, I have no problem. I tell my friends all the time they creep. So when we be out and they start getting creepy, or I feel like they getting, I'm like, why you being a creep, man? Sit down somewhere. And what? That's creepy. And the sad part is, it's just general conversation. They not touching nobody. They not doing too much. It's just, you can kind of tell when creepiness starts to creep in.
Again, that's why it's important to call that shit out.
Call your friends out and let your friends know. Like, you have to have this open dialogue. And like I said, I feel like now is the time that if you have children or nieces and nephews of a certain age and we're able to kind of break those type of things, now is the time to do it. So, you know, the next generation of kids, it won't be such a mess. Because the reason the Me Too movement and Time's Up is such a big deal right now is because everything kind of came to a head. It went from one extreme to the other. So the extreme was, it was a boys club and men would do whatever they want to do. And now it's like, stop that shit. And so somewhere in the near future, we'll be able to level this back out where everybody has a clear understanding what guidelines and boundaries are. But if you're always confused on what guidelines and boundaries are, here's a tip. Keep your hands and your things to yourself. It literally, and everybody's not as cool as your home girl that you kind of flirt with, that you kind of mess with. You know what I mean? You putting your dick in your hand don't offend me. I was just like, why you got your dick out, man? But then again, we had a different, a flirty type of kind of drunk flirt. Let me kind of dry hump you relationship. So certain stuff happens based on the person you're dealing with. Make sure you let that, if you're not offended, if you think another girl's gonna be offended, let that nigga know. All right, now, just because me and you kind of hunch when nobody looking, you know, we dry humping, we dry humping in the club. Don't do that to nobody. Just because I'm like lightweight grinding you with my Daisy Dukes on, and now you're trying to see it. You have to kind of make people aware that everything don't fly with you. Personally, I'm a type of person. Certain dialogue and conversations do not offend me at all. Like, I like hearing what men have to say in all spaces. Even if I'm at work, I kind of like to hear like the guy talk. I'm not offended. However, there are women who are. So you need to not put everybody in the fold. Everybody's not on the same level. So you can't talk to me the same way you talk to Sarah, who talked to Sue, who talked to Lee, who talked to Gina. Treat everybody independently. Stop putting everybody in the same bucket. And if all fails, or not even if all fails, the first part of all of this is keep your comments, your pictures, your text messages, your hands, your penis, your fingers, your comments, your life, what you did last night, who you fucking, what type of dick you got, what type of dick you got. Keep it to yourself. And if all fails, directly ask somebody, do you like me? Yes or no? It's just so simple. If you just straight up ask people how they feel instead of trying to read signs and test waters, because the reading of the signs and the testing of waters is the problem. Fucked up. It's always the problem. If old boy would have put his dick in the hand of a girl who just slept in his bed the first night, that would have been a problem. A little different for me since we dry hump at the club. See? But he still was testing waters. But at the end of the day, he still was testing waters. Like, damn, me and Ed been kicking it for like 2 years. She ain't gave me no pussy. Let me see if I can kind of get some pussy on this rainy Saturday morning. Niggas have a need to test waters. But then women test waters too. Can you pay my cell phone bill? Okay. Everybody's in this game of testing. But don't test with your body parts and with somebody else's vagina, as the goal. That's all. But everybody be safe out there. Report to your HR. Please be very mindful of all your spaces. Like I said, niggas are weirdos. Be careful when you come into your house at night. Be careful when you're alone with a person. Always have an exit strategy. Never drink too much on your first dates. Always have a friend know where you're at, what you're doing. I still to this day will send a friend or my mama a license plate number and give a name. I stopped going out on dates solo dolo a while ago. Like solo dolo in the sense no one knows where I'm at a while ago. Always let somebody know where you're at. Absolutely. Niggas are weird. People are weird too. Just always be careful. Don't take. I know if a lot of y'all like to drink scissor and pop pills. Stop taking drugs and pills with people you don't know. Stop getting. And I'm a queen of a not a day party, of a pregame. I love a good pregame before I go to any function. I'm gonna tell you now. I stopped I might do a glass of wine before I go on a date, but I stopped pre-gaming for real, because that's kind of how I got fucked up that one time in college. Don't pre-game to go drink on a date. Because now you tore down at the date, and you might need a ride home. And then guess what niggas do? Niggas don't think to call your ass an Uber. I'll take you home. You see how quickly shit just starts shifting? So just stop trusting people with yourself. Like, stop. Like,
yeah. Because honestly, like, we talk about, partying and being drunk and getting getting wasted and all that. But in today's climate, you can't do that. Because there's so many people that will see prey when you're drinking. And we all know that, like, I mean, I've had my fair share of experiences where I felt like, damn, I don't know what happened. So it's just like we have to stop doing that. Like, everybody wants to have a good time, but your safety and being aware of what's going on around you is more important than a turn up. And because of the climate that we're in, we know that guys are doing this to girls. We know guys are preying on women. So I don't know.
Just be safe out there, kids. And we are a village, and we are a tribe. And if you see your brothers or your cousins or your besties or your homeboys doing
some rapey, creepy shit,
you don't have to be vulgar and loud. Like, I'm kind of like, my friends kind of hate me because I'm loud anyway. So I'm like, why are you being creepy? But that's my personality. But hit your friends up and let them know, like, yo, dude, don't be doing that type of shit. It's okay to tell your friends that, even if you're not, you don't have to check them at the table in front of everybody and embarrass them. It doesn't have to go down like that. But you definitely need to start say
something,
having your friends acknowledge moments that's what's overall. Because, like I said, and not putting the blame on men. Or not even putting blame on women. It's just a lot of stuff that we just grew up in, and we just don't.
Because we let shit
we
slide.
Don't know.
Yeah,
we just don't know our parents, TV, siblings. Cause like you really don't know. And thank goodness we're in a space where we can learn. And like I said, don't mean that your friends are rapists. Niggas just do creepy shit all the time. Anyway. They do. So just tell your friend when stuff is creepy.
Stop being creepy.
You don't have to take the route I take where I'm yelling like, "What the fuck is this?" Yeah, you don't have to be all like that, but just, be mindful. Let your friends know when some of the stuff they doing not gonna fly. Like, especially if it's something that you don't want done to you. And that's usually when I kind of like get my friends together. Like, what are you doing? That's weird. They're like, no, man, I just said, no, that's fucking weird. Okay?
Or if you don't want your daughters to like experience that type of a person. Because that's what I said. I'm like, dog, you have 5 daughters. Do you want your daughter to meet a person like you? No. Okay, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? I'll beat a nigga if he touch my daughter. Okay, so I'm somebody's daughter.
Well, guys, I don't, like y'all know, I don't have no notes. So I don't have no Black History fact for y'all. Stay black, whatever. So we got 2 people, and y'all really be sending these letters. Y'all really like inbox Recovering Party Girls like we are like the introduction to Houston, and we're not. Y'all really like hit up like what they doing on Thursday night, bitch. I don't know. I watch TV on Thursday night. I'm watching TGT. I'm watching Shonda Rhimes and them on a Thursday night. Like, I don't know what's popping in the city. I tell everybody the same places, and that be the funny part. Like, I literally name the same places for every night.
What's your name?
Turkey Leg Cut, The Address, The Spot, D-Bar, what else I name? 5015.
Niggas spots.
I do, because they be asking for niggas places. It's another one. I'm missing something. I'm missing something
Y'all need
else.
to go downtown.
I'm missing something else. They want nigga spots, because the one dude who hit me up, he was already at The Address. He's like, this shit live. They want nigga spots. They want to turn up. Our viewers are niggas. But so we got 2 letters. Well, not 2 letters. We have 2 questions. I'm gonna read both of them. So one is Spicy Icy. How is Houston living? What are the pros and cons? I'm considering relocating next year. Any info, please? Thank you. I love your page, by the way. And then we also had one from... Oh, shoot. I don't know where she's at, but... Oh, wait. Sorry, y'all. I'm under my page. Give me a second. Give me a second. Wait for it. It's C_good_ says, "Hey ladies, I love y'all podcast and your page. I'm about to graduate college and wanted to know what it's like in Dallas, Austin, and Houston."
Oh God.
So I don't really have nothing for y'all. Like, honestly.
Oh God. Okay. So Houston. So for the first person that said what it's like to live in Houston,
Pros and cons. Basically, it's the same letter.
Pros and cons of living in Houston. Pros, it's very diverse. You have different areas that are very rich in culture. So if you want, and then like the food scene, I would say is probably a pro, because if you like food, like different foods, you have Chinatown, you have the Indian part of town, you have the African part of town, you have Greek restaurant. Like Houston is such a melting pot. That's why I love Houston. Houston is such a melting pot. Like there's everything that you could ever want culturally, but the cons is traffic. I think personally, and you know, and I may offend some of my Houston listeners, but I think that people that are born and raised in Houston are very wishy-washy. I have very few friends that are born and raised in Houston, and the friends that I've made that are from Houston, I have a couple that are really great, but for the most part, I've been out here almost 20 years, and I just truly feel like Houstonians are just a wishy-washy group of people. The people that I have made friends with for years, they're not from here, but they just live here. So that'd be, I think, for me, the pros and cons. Traffic is horrible. I mean, you can't get anywhere in the city after 1 o'clock. Every freeway you go down is traffic. Between 2 and maybe 6 o'clock, your ass is stuck. And that's every highway. But for the most part, if you know how to navigate it, I mean, I take a lot of back roads. It's cool. I don't know. What would you say, Ebony? Pros and cons of living in Houston.
I mean, Houston is a big city that operates like a small town. So when I first was deciding to move to Texas, San Antonio was already not even in my thought process. It was really out of Houston and Dallas. And somebody told me Dallas was all white money. And they said Houston was black and young and the new Atlanta. And the thing is, I didn't want to live in Atlanta, but I do like Atlanta's vibe. Like, I like black people. I like progressive black people. I like a good time. So I was like, oh, Houston's right up my alley. They lied. It's not the new Atlanta. But it is a lot of black people, and I do give them that. It is a lot of black people. But when I say it operates like a big town, Houston is like the second or third largest city in the U.S. Third. Oh, yeah. New York, third largest city.
It's New York, Chicago, and Houston.
New York, where's LA at? New York, LA, Chicago, Houston.
It's New York, Chicago, and Houston.
Okay, so either way, Houston to be in the top 4 or 5 cities to with the most population, it operates like a small town. Like, no one. I'm going to Houston for the weekend, says no one, in case they know somebody in Houston. You go to LA, you go to Vegas, you go to New York, you go to Atlanta, you go to New Orleans, you go to Miami, you go to Chicago. I can name 600 other states you go to before you decide, or cities to go to before you decide to go to Houston. And for Houston to be in the top of the most populated cities, that's like kind of sad, because I feel, even though I do, and don't get me wrong, I do like Houston. I like the fact that Houston was a city I came and kind of became an adult in. I came by myself. My family lives in Florida or Georgia. Got a couple of family members in New York. I was like the Lone Star that came out here. The Lone Star. I was a Lone Star that came out here by myself. So everything about Houston at that time was great for me. I wanted to go to LA. Houston was just more my budget. But for it to be such this large city, I feel like it's looked over. And I don't know if it's because of Houston or the people or just the location.
I think it's the people. No, I think it's the people.
I mean, I don't know, but I just kind of feel like it's very looked like, even when a lot of people go do concerts, Houston's not top on their list to go to. Houston's very forgotten about. Texas is like the Lone Star State. It's like, how is this city with all these people always being looked over a lot of times? And why does Houston feel so disconnected to what's going on? Like when I go to Florida, I hear all this music that's coming out in Atlanta. I hear all this Florida music that never touches Houston. When I'm in Atlanta, I'm hearing all types of music. It's like, when this song came out? And I'm like, girl, this song been out for 6 months. It's like this disconnect of everything black everywhere else. And then it's just like Houston. In their Houston bubble, doing the Houston things, which is fine. I have a great time doing Houston things in the Houston bubble. But then sometimes it's just like, especially I have a friend from Atlanta, when she goes back to Atlanta, it's like all this shit is happening that Houston ain't even noticed yet. And then it's like, oh, okay, it's gonna get to Houston like later. That's kind of, it feels like it's always life, a step, and then Houston gets set. Versus Houston being a part of like this cool city fold, which it should be because it's all these people and it's oil and gas and it's a lot of money here and it's good jobs here and it's a lot of niggas here and it's all these cool things, and it's like womp womp when it comes to like certain stuff. But with that being said, for a girl who came by herself and didn't know if I was going to have friends and thought I was going to have to move back home, this has been an amazing place. One thing about the people in Houston, they're very down home. So I met a lot of people that turned into family. Like all my friends, I know a few people, but I have like a set group of people that everybody pretty much knows I deem kind of as family. And it's because of the hospitality and the type of spirit they bring. And I think that might be a down south thing and a Texas thing and a homegrown thing. And I get it and I love it. I do think Houston people are funny because I always say they the only motherfuckers that's gonna party down on Sunday. Like work ain't on Monday. They the only niggas that party at Sunday fun day. Like work is not literally around the corner. I appreciate mess like that. I appreciate people who party on New Year's Eve and they got Christmas Eve and knowing they got goddamn kids at the house. I appreciate shit like that. So it is a good time, but I do feel when you're in Houston, you're in Houston. You're disconnected from all things black elsewhere until like it gets around to Houston.
Because Houston is country. Houston is a very country town, like city, like it's very soulful. So
which works on one end,
and this segues into the difference between Dallas and Houston and Austin. Houston is more metropolitan. Dallas is I lived in Dallas for a year. I hated it. Dallas is very white, old school money. It's very white. And I didn't like it. I personally like culture. I don't think that Dallas has a lot of culture to it compared to Houston. It's very whitewashed. So and in Austin it's the same way. Austin is very whitewashed. Austin is
I don't mind Austin. I think Austin is more progressive than actually a lot of the cities
Austin,
here.
I like Austin, but I would never live in Austin. Austin is, again, to me, whitewashed. Dallas is whitewashed. I lived in Las Colinas for about a year and a half. It just wasn't my cup of tea. I prefer, out of those three cities, I would prefer to live in Houston, because I feel like being as a black woman, I feel like that is more accepted here than it is anywhere else. I've tried to get jobs in Dallas. It was like, ooh, I was the first black woman at several clubs that I worked at. Austin, again, I hung around with a bunch of white and Hispanic girls. Black token girl. it's just to me it just feels like there's not enough diversity in those cities that for me to say this is where I want to sow my oats or whatever the fuck. I just feel like Houston is more
urban,
and it's more of a melting pot, which I like. They say it's more diverse than New York City, which I can see. I can see it because there are certain parts. I mean, if you go to certain parts of town, you have you have Bel Air, which is all Chinese, Asian. You have your Pakistani, which is the Hillcroft area, Indian, all that. And you have your Greek. You have your African. To me, it's just more diverse, and people are more, to me, receptive of me being a black woman in Houston than I am in Dallas or Austin. Because in Austin, you're more of a novelty.
I liked Austin. When I used to visit Austin, I had a friend who was getting her, oh God, she's a doctor now. She was getting her doctorate in Austin. So, and me and her did undergrad together. She went to Florida State, actually, when I was going to FAM. I had a great time. I like Austin for everything Austin is. I think Austin is very Coachella-y, very music and
you're on a river
and artsy,
drinking
and artsy and music, and I like stuff like that. I don't want to live in a city like that, but I very much so like what Austin is doing in terms of like art and entertainment, because you wouldn't expect, like, I just didn't expect this like city and all like. This city in Texas that wasn't San Antonio or Houston or Dallas to kind of be like a little hub for festivals and music and art and just like kind of like this cool place to go and food trucks and, you know, just this good like hippie time. But with that being said, I'm happy I live very close to Austin. I don't know if I would be able to live in Austin. Like I said, Houston and Dallas, I know for sure has a lot of money coming in and coming out. And that's based on like the oil and gas and beef industry and stuff like that. So if you're coming out of college,
I would say Houston.
I would say Houston. And if you don't mind what I've heard about Dallas, which like I said, they told me
no, ma'am,
rich white people.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
You don't know her type of vibe. If you like rich white people, I knew I wasn't that type of person. I needed urban.
Well, I'll just say this. Don't come to Houston and then move to Dallas. If you're going to make a move to Dallas first. Then, when you decide you don't like it, move to Houston. Because once you move to Houston and then you live in Houston a little bit and then you move to Dallas, it's a very distinct difference.
And guys,
it's a very distinct difference.
And guys, that ends our episode of sexual harassment. I got to go to bed because, bitch, I got to go to work in the morning.
She's like, you gotta cut it.
You guys barely got this episode.
Cut it. Look, fuck these niggas, man. Don't let these niggas do shit to y'all, man. Fuck them. Report them. Send their ass to goddamn jail. Fuck them. We're done with these predators. I'm done with these predators.
I hope you guys have a blessed week, and we'll see you next week.
Done.